Once you've finished your sketch, you're ready to move on to the final piece of paper. It's a nice big thick watercolor paper, and we'll be using actually tempera paint, but watercolor is really, or the watercolor paper is really great just to paint on top because it's a nice thick hard paper and it doesn't bend very easily, so it gives the paint a lot of support, which is awesome. But you'll see it's very blank right now, nothing's on it. So first things first is you got to put our name on the back side with your class code. Flip that paper over and we'll be ready to start drawing. Now the best part is you've already done the hard work with the sketch. You've already mapped out where everything's gonna go. Now it's just to draw lightly on your watercolor paper. Again, I have my sketch off to the side where you won't be able to see it, but I can see it, so I can use it as a reference to start drawing. So just gonna go right in, draw with my pencils very lightly. You can actually see how I hold my pencil to draw lightly. I don't hold it like I'm gonna write. I hold my pencil at the very end and I move my wrist so that it's, or if I can just move my whole entire arm across the paper with my pencil. So my pencil's barely touching the paper because we don't want the pencil lead to dig deep into this paper or it will stay there forever, and when you start to actually paint, you pick up some of the graphite and makes your paint look a little muddy. So just be careful, just try to draw lightly, very nicely, because if you draw light until you get it right, it'll be a lot easier to erase. So I'm kind of making my hill shape for my middle ground, and I'm gonna do this kind of middle hill shape. Again, I'm going in with the shapes of my hills and my landscape first before I add the details of things that make my planet unique to me. Okay, another little hill there. All right, I'm gonna draw my house. Again, trying to draw very lightly, not adding much detail because we're gonna possibly, when you go to paint over it, you won't see the details. So just draw the shapes of your house. Don't actually draw, like I'm not gonna draw my doors or my windows right now because I'm actually gonna paint over them. So I'm not even gonna try to do that. I'm just gonna paint the shape or draw the shapes. I'm gonna get my tree, going up it nice and tall. There's my trunk, nice. Add some branches. Add some small twigs on here. And then I'm going to go in and add some paintbrushes. I'm not going to get too detailed again because we're going to be painting over most of this. So I actually might add more paintbrushes later when I'm actually painting, but I'm getting an idea of where they're all gonna go. And then I'm gonna draw my bushes. Get another bush back here. And maybe part of another bush kind of coming off the paper. And do little flowers. If you have the image go all the way to the end and come off the paper, it makes it look like, I don't know, it just makes it more interesting. It makes it feel more, I guess, real to me in a way. And I'm gonna add my paint palette. I might do like little lines like this to look like a paint palette a little bit more. At different angles to make it look more like a real flower would. The real flowers don't really stand up all the same way every single time. There you go. Boom. And it looks like my pencil drawing is all done and I'll be ready to move on to the painting step. Now when we go to the painting, we're gonna start in the background. It is easier to start in the background instead of the foreground when we paint. All right, we'll see you then.